We're in the final round here, and definitely going to keep this hand. Got both colors. We have a 2-drop. Seems reasonable. We get a 3rd land. We're right in business. All right, there we go. So we get to go Skirmisher, Yisan, then maybe start digging some stuff out. I think the thing with Yisan is he's quite the mana sink, and I don't know. I had a couple people that were like, "Why didn't you just play Yisan and then start spitting guys out?" But I don't know if I'm necessarily on board with that every time, especially not in a situation like this where he's kind of applied pressure really quickly. So now I'm more motivated to play a card like Hushwing Griff that can trade with the Welkin turn or evade. Does it make sense? It should make sense. Uh-oh. Soul Artifact or Scrapyard Mongrel? Currently, I'm hoping for Scrapyard Mongrel because in Soul Artifact, I guess it would have Summoning Sickness, but that would still be a problem. Yeah, I think we're on the Hushwing Griff plan to trade with the Welkin turn since I can't get in on the Research Assistant currently. I guess alternatively, no, I think that's it. So we're just going to do Hushwing Griff to trade with the Welkin turn. Or maybe not. If he has an Into the Battlefield effect, I probably wouldn't mind countering that too. Here's the thing too that I kind of need to consider. If I take the 2 here, I do go to 16. But then my next turn I could follow up with a Golem followed by a Siege Worm the next turn. Which really isn't that bad. I think I'm actually going to do that instead. So we are taking some damage, but we're kind of building up the board at the moment, which I think is actually a bit more valuable. Welkin turn has done a lot of damage. I admit. I've taken 6 from it already, which is a lot of damage. But what can I say? What can I say? What do you want me to say? So you can play Siege Worm by completely tapping out. He's got counter magic up now, which makes that a little bit less attractive. However, it does give us a big force on the board. I think we're enough ahead on the board where I kind of want to go into War of Attrition mode here. So I'm going to do swing with these 3 dudes. Shrapnel Blast. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to make you lose your Research Assistant too. Worthwhile trade. 3 for 2. Admittedly, the two things he got from us are arguably better, but at the same time, we just got rid of a shrapnel blast, one of his lands, and a research assistant, so I don't feel too bad about it. I almost want to do the Midnight Guard instead of the Isan. Here's why. Because then next turn I can do Siege Worm and untap my Midnight Guard, which is nice if he were to have some way to, say, defeat the Siege Worm. And then once again, everyone can get on my case about not going into Isan. All right, Bronze Sable. Not a big deal at all there. Still sensibly getting in with the Welkin turn. No further plays. Very good. And we get a land, so that's actually very nice. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go Siege Worm. Did the game just glitch? You guys saw that, right? So, game just glitched. Because I have a creature that entered the battlefield which should therefore untap him and didn't. Alright, well, don't know what to say about that. That was definitely a glitch. Now, what do you think the chances of me filing paperwork to fix that are? 0. You got it. Wow, multiple shrapnel blasts. Jeez. Well, I can't protect that one. That's a weird glitch, though, because I've never actually seen the Midnight Guard miss before. Into the battlefield? Don't cause abilities to trigger. That's what it is. Don't cause abilities to trigger, that's interesting. Okay. So, before you leave 1,000 comments saying, what are you, an idiot? Don't you even know what Hushwing Griff does? I still don't. Apparently. Apparently I still do not. At this point, I wouldn't mind if Hushwing Griff just left. Yeah, we could have not attacked with the Griff, but I did, so there. Yeah, now it's starting to make a lot more sense. Multiple shrapnel blasts, that is pretty crazy. Oh, that's scary. Something big. Miner's Bane, alright. It's actually pretty good since none of our guys have 3 power. Still don't have the resources to equip. I always forget how expensive Brawler's Plate is. So, swing team, he kills something, he takes 6. He goes to 4. I'm left with 3 creatures. Next turn I equip something with Brawler's Plate. You can't really strike back too efficiently. We do lose something here, though. Presumably Yisan. Alternatively, I can just wait, go for Yisan value. At end of his turn, search up nothing, but then I'm in 2-spot territory, which I don't remember what I have, but like Wall of Mulch and weird stuff. Yeah, that's probably the safer play. Rather than just attacking a Miner's Band, lose something. We do deal 6 to him, but then if he has nothing, we have lethal the following turn. Is that how it works? I guess it's probably wiser to go for lethal here. We're dealing 6 to him. He's going to eat our Yisan. He has to have a follow-up play. Even if he does have a follow-up play, we have Brawler's Plate. We're in that territory. So I should have not played the Brawler's Plate to fake like I have a trick, but he just doesn't block. Oh, he did. I was like, what? I didn't even see the block. Razorfoot Griffin, can't quite do that one. So we'll do this guy, gear him up. Swing with team. Oh. Well, probably has appeal from reality, but I don't think playing around that is what we're going to do. Or not appeal from reality. Something much worse for me. Blast Fireball. And you get rid of my equipment. So, yeah, nightmare. Nightmare situation just happened. Okay. Absolute nightmare. Okay, that's very nightmarish. Very, very nightmarish situation. Absolutely. Yep, this is as bad as it gets. This is about as bad as it gets. The destroying of our... And he's got another play too. Oh, okay. So, even if I play the Razorfoot Griffin, if he double pumps next turn, it's still going to be lethal. So, I'm hoping that I didn't just lose to Blast Firebolt Miner's Bane attack, but I hate to say it, folks. I'm kind of feeling like we did. Let's see what we get off the top here, though. I do get a draw, at least, and see. No, it is absolutely a land, which means he's going to attack and double pump and kill us. So, yeah, the worst possible thing that could have happened and we lost did, in fact, just happen. So, that sucks. I guess the worst possible thing would have been... I am trying to think what could have been worse than Blast Firebolt there, since getting rid of the Brawler's Plate was actually essential for him not dying. I'm trying to think of something worse than Blast Firebolt. Maybe, what would have been worse? A mythic? Maybe like a mythic? Like the one that has first strike and deals a bunch of damage or something like that. Maybe that would have been the worst. Not sure. Man, am I unhappy with this game. Wow. Man, am I really unhappy with this one. Not happy at all with that. That's really bad. I just lost to Miner's Bane, which is close to unplayable. I'm not going to lie. I have played it before, so it is actually playable, but you're never happy when you're playing Miner's Bane, and I can tell you right now, you're certainly not happy losing against it. Wow. That's tough. All right, so let's try this again. Hoping I don't lose the way in which I just lost, because it doesn't feel good. Losing like that does not feel good. Let's get rid of the Brawler's Plate. Let's bring in the Ranger's Guile. He's red and blue, so I presume he's got Bounce and Burn, although didn't see too much of that. Other than that, I think we're just going to try it again, and I could actually bring in Life Gain, believe it or not, because he's running Shrapnel Blasts. Maybe Congregate is actually the better choice, since this will help mitigate the enormous amounts of damage that he attempts to do via Shrapnel Blast, I'm assuming. Granted, this time around he did do it to our creatures, but I think there's a chance that those are intended for our face. So Congregate could be a lot better in those situations. Let's cut the Titanic Growth again, and I'll just bring in some Congregate Life Gain to hopefully he banks on a Shrapnel Blast killing us, or a Miner's Bane, maybe something like that. So we'll play first and keep this despite not having any threats, which usually is very, very bad, but we've got both our colors. We've been having mana issues, so I feel like it's at least worth a keep. Plus, it's oddly enough the first time we've seen a Johnny in, how many games have we played? Was this like our 8th game or something like that? This is the first of Johnny we've seen. Always sad when you draft a Mythic and you don't see it every game, you know? You draft your Mythic, it's just all you want to see all the time. Alright, I got a feeling we're going to be slamming a turn 3 invasive species, unless we were to, say, draw some other creature, which motivated me to play that instead. Rogue's Gloves, alright, so I imagine that is for tossing at creatures. We have both Ranger's Guile and Ephemeral Shield, something to keep in mind. That's got flying. So I imagine he's going to be drawing a card next turn, and unfortunately because of the invasive species downside, I'm unable to hunt the weak, which would be nice. It'd be very nice here. Maybe we can hope that he stays. Here's the real issue that I'm seeing probably come up. Next turn, if he just equips Rogue's Gloves and doesn't do anything else, I have to be extremely conscious about Shrapnel Blast, which, if he manages to sack a Rogue's Gloves and get rid of our invasive species at the cost of a Hunt the Weak and invasive species, I actually don't know if that's... I don't know how bad it is yet. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, but I think it's pretty bad if that case happens. Then again, having the Shrapnel Blast go at my face certainly isn't good, so it depends. I guess what I'm trying to say is I want him to equip, draw, and then play something. I don't want him to leave up Shrapnel Blast mana, since I don't have much going on beyond a Hunt the Weak. Alternatively, I can play a Johnny Steadfast, pump my invasive species, but perhaps then he's even more motivated to use it against the invasive species, or maybe he'll use it against the Ajani. I just don't know. As expected, he left the Shrapnel Blast up, which does not make me too happy. So choices. Johnny Steadfast plus attack for 4. It's going to let him draw cards. But if he starts attacking a Johnny, it's not going to let him draw cards. I may just play a Johnny, pump, and then maybe he immediately uses Shrapnel Blast to get rid of it, in which case I'll still be able to do my Hunt the Week, which I think is better. But then again, him drawing cards is absolutely terrible, and that's not good either. So I'm a little bit at a loss of what's the correct move here. I'm going to a Johnny. I'm going to let him sort of draw cards if he keeps attacking us. I feel like a Johnny, we're not playing around negate, obviously, at all. But negate would have stopped the Hunt the Week as well. Well, a resolution is good. Okay. So, no Shrapnel Blast. Played. Doesn't mean he doesn't have it. Just means it wasn't played. Okay. Path Mage, definitely not a big deal. Hammerhand's a bit of a big deal since that means he's going to kill a Johnny. So that's not good. But at least I guess he's not going to draw a card, which is good. So there are some definite good and not good things happening here. The not good thing, of course, my Johnny's dying. The good thing, he didn't draw a card from Rogue's Gloves, which means I can Hunt the Week his flyer. Trying to think if that's the correct move. Alternatively, I can play Pegasus Midnight Guard. I'm not sure what that would do for us, besides give him an opportunity to play around Hunt the Week. I think we have to hunt this turn, and the worst part about Hunt is I almost want to hit the Path Mage, but I can't. Cannot hit the Path Mage. And I can't play anything after I play Hunt the Week. That's another issue. But no real choice here. I think we're just going to make our guy big. Kill one of his guys. At least make him use some mana for the old Rogue's Gloves. I'm going to land away from my Constricting Sliver, which would be able to eat the Path Mage, which at this point is just worth it because it's got the Hammer Hand. So he would have to presumably toss a Rogue's Gloves at some point. Otherwise, at least I have a Midnight Guard Sungrace Pegasus follow-up. So I've got some decent play follow-ups, but we are going to have to deal with this Path Mage at some point, I think. I guess we're at a nice, healthy life total. Jeez. Well, that's harsh. Land off the top would be the best, since we could take care of these auras. not have to take a quadrillion damage. Didn't equip, so he's got a follow-up play. Interesting. Maybe he's ready to toss a shrapnel blast at it, just because his life total has gotten down to the point where that seems like the correct answer. Alright, well, we got the land, so we're going to swing with the species. Interesting. Alright, well, we're going to constrict his Path Mage. He's going to toss the Inferno Fist at us, I assume. Or maybe, well, Peel from Reality doesn't. I guess it does. Gets rid of our species for a turn. And it saves his Path Mage from getting blasted. I would like to use the ability. Thank you. This would be a good time for him to use Shrapnel Blast, since it would get his Path Mage back. Yeah, still okay with that, by the way. We did take out some cards in the process. Unfortunately, we're not projecting lethal at him, but at least next turn we can do Twin Grove, get a couple dudes out there. Otherwise, Pegasus if we need a lifelinker for some reason. But also remember, Path Mage is significantly stronger without an Inferno Fist and a Hammer Hand, which is good. Mongrel without artifacts, that's a good sign. I imagine he's going to stay back. No, not staying back. That's interesting. Not staying back. Perhaps he's got Peel from Reality. Just not sure yet. Yisan. Alright. Let's get in for 4. And drop the Twin Grove to get a couple dudes out there that are big. Crowd's favor. Quickling, alright. So just prevented our attack, which is pretty good for him, not for us. Certainly not for us. Let's get the Twin Grove out there. I still think it's the most pressure. Alternatively, it's Sungrace Pegasus for lifelink, but I think we're in kind of, we need to back him up against a corner. Plus, if we draw a forest, these become 4/4s, which is pretty good. 3/4/4s next turn on attack would be pretty significant. We're still out of range of a Shrapnel Blast, even if he gets in with both of his guys, which is possible this turn. So that's kind of good news too. I do feel like he's going to have to be defensive at some point. Not having a Solemn Offering is kind of a buzzkill as well, since that would be so nice. I guess he could Shrapnel Blast in response, but Just finding that opportunity, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Gaining the life. Finding the opportunity to gain the life would be nice. So, well, I imagine we're bashing in here. It's got a bounce spell again. Take care of the token. Peel from reality. Getting rid of the quickling. Multiple quicklings. Saving the Path Mage so he can trade with the Twin Grove. That makes sense. Taking 3 damage. Going to 2. And slamming a Pegasus. And we are absolutely chump blocking a Quickling, just in case of some Shrapnel Blast shenanigans. And then I'll drop a Midnight Guard because, I don't know. I can't, this game's going to be over before Yi-san does anything. Presumably. Maybe that's an assumption that I shouldn't have made. But yes, if he's attacking with Quicklings, we obviously chump block immediately. No reason to go to 5 since both Shrapnel Blast and Lava Axe would kill us at that point. Miner's Bane. Once again, the bane of my existence. Play a Wall of Mulch. Kind of want to sack it. Not going to lie. Let's see if we can't get a useful card here. Just a land. Okay, so if I swing with Team, he could block, eat. Oh, it was a good land, though, since it turned him into a 4/4. So he can't really comfortably double block the Tree Folk Warrior. If he just blocks Pegasus, blocks, he only takes, well, that's lethal. I'm trying to think of his best blocks if I swing with Team. I'm trying to think of some way I'm getting blown out here. So he blocks with Miner's Bane there, blocks Quickling here, blocks that there, he dies. Block, he only takes 1. That might be the best for him. He keeps his Miner's Bane, loses his 2 Quicklings. That could be a big problem. So maybe we just swing Pegasus, Tree Folk, Species. Does that give him a better block? That's the real question. If I don't swing with my Midnight Guard, can he can just chump, or eat, chump, and then he'd still die? No. So does attack with the Midnight Guard do anything is the only question I'm trying to ask here. It makes it so he has to chump block here to survive if he wants to eat our Midnight Guard, and he still will take 1, bringing us up to 10. He has 2 more mana he can pump into that, but it comes at the cost of all his mana. One of the cards in his hand is a thing I've forgotten now that he bounced back to his hand. M15 Path Mage is one of the cards in his hand. Okay, so if I swing, I'm trying to think if swinging Team is right or wrong. I want to say he can't block our Pegasus, first and foremost. There's nothing that can block the Pegasus because then you take lethal. So I think we do swing Team. Whether or not I'm right, right now my brain is too muddled to figure out what else I'm supposed to be doing. So That would make him block the Midnight Guard. It's going to force him to chump block the 2 invasive species. He's going to take 1, bring us up to 10. Or I swing... God, why is this so difficult? I don't know, but it is very, very difficult. If I attack with the species, warrior, and the Pegasus, he can block the Pegasus with a Quickling, and then chump, and then trade. So that would give him that option, but do I mind that option? I kind of don't. Whereas if I attack with whole team, he just is going to kill Midnight Guard, then chump, chump, and we only get in for 1. For some reason, I don't like that. I don't like losing my Midnight Guard here. I really don't like losing my Midnight Guard. So I'm just going to swing with these 3. I'd much rather him do the trade. And if he eats the Pegasus, I mean, it kind of sucks, but at least we're gaining a life. We're eating most of his board. I felt like taking care of the Miner's Bane was essential. Whether or not it was remains to be seen. If he just plays a Path Mage, he just dies. So Path Mage does not get him out of this situation. He was off his second blue the entire game, which is convenient for us. Okay, 2 lands left. Doesn't have the resources for Shrapnel Blast. If he has Lightning Strike, doesn't stop the invasive species. I still think we're in a pretty good place here since we have lethal on the board. He has 1 card in hand. Okay, concession. So opponent's got less than 5 minutes left. You know, Oppressive Raise is good on Miner's Bane, and it's good on Amphin Pathmage, both of which pretty much eliminate any chance of them legitimately using those spells. How good is Wall of Mulch here? I don't know. Wall of Mulch isn't great, I guess, but he does have, like, well, we didn't even get a Naturalize or a... That's surprising. It is very surprising. I still have the Congregate for life gain. How important is the life gain? I still feel like life gain is probably pretty important in this match. Double Quickling is pretty insane. It's going to be really good against our Hunt the Weeks too, which is admittedly an issue. Could do Soul Mender. Life gain seems important in this match, but what am I doing? It over Wall of Mulch? My reasoning was he's got flyers like Tinkerer and Welkin Turn. And Wall of Mulch doesn't really... I'm going to swap Wall of Mulch for a Soul Mender. I don't know if it's right. I really don't. But I'm going to do it because I've got a couple Convoke guys and life gain seems a bit important. I mean, it feels like if we can get a foothold, we've got a much better late game plan than he does. Since he's just like launching shrapnel blasts at us and we've got like Congregates and stuff. So plus he's got less than 5 minutes left. I just feel like if I can survive, I can beat him just through time at least. Maybe that's a reason to bring Oppressive Raise in too. Takes time to pay your costs and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm going to try it like this. No green source. 6 and a 7 drop. We do have a Skirmisher. if I can get a green source, we're in a little bit of business. 7 drop in hand is pretty awful. 6 drop in hand with no green source is pretty awful. So it's like 2 dead cards in our hand. I think we're actually better mulliganing. Okay. Not very good, since we have nothing early to do, but I really do think that that first hand was going to pose some issues. Yeah, that's not a good start for us. We really need to draw a 2-drop here to go tit for tat with him, or else we're just going to fall 2 behind. Yeah, you don't want to see that either. Basically, I don't want him to be... Oh, God, that's terrible. Yeah, all right. I'm feeling like we can't win this now unless we take care of that Welkin turn immediately. And since we don't have any spot removal, I don't actually see how that's possible. So, not feeling as though we can win this, but we'll find out. Step 1 is draw a hunt the week and survive 2 turns. Hunt the week. I think we're going to lose to Shrapnel Blast. I didn't anticipate the Thundering Giant, mostly because I hadn't seen it the entire game. Well, a flyer is actually pretty good here, since it's not only going to let us survive an Inferno Fist, but it's going to help us survive a Shrapnel Blast, too. Yeah, drew way too hot. I just can't beat this guy. Drew too hot. So, only way to survive, I need to hunt the week off the top right now, or else it's over. And even if I get a hunt the week, it's over. Who am I kidding? Even with a hunt the week, I use Gather Courage. I'd have to tap my invasive species and then do it. Then he could crack in with the Bronze Sable. Super disappointed with this outcome. This deck seems so much better than a 1-2 deck, but apparently not. I didn't get to resolve Resolute Archangel once, so I've got nothing but just a lot of angst and hatred for this card right now. Hushman Griff just confused me a couple times. Colonian Twin Grove, I guess he won me a game, so that was good. Sliver Hive was the bane of my existence every time this time around. Yisan didn't do anything. I saw a Johnny Steadfast once. Yeah, I'd say one of the best decks I've probably had and one of the worst outcomes I've had from the best decks. So very disappointed with the outcome of how we did in this draft, but I don't know what to say about it. I wish I could say something that would help me feel better about it, but I really can't. I think our opponents had some good decks. Shrapnel Blast was pretty nasty. Losing to Miner's Bane was I think the low point for me in the draft as far as feeling good. Match 1, we just pretty much got rolled by a green-black player. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about it. They played good cards, and they stepped on my face. So I'll be back for the next draft, and we'll see you next time.